In the sunlight, this figure feels so freaking... Yo, what's up guys, it's Primus the Creator here and welcome back to my channel. Now in today's video we are going to be reviewing the Transformers ThreeZero MDLX Autobot Optimus Prime. Now before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to turn on post notifications so that you guys don't miss any uploads that I do, and I really hope you guys do enjoy this video. So without further ado, let's get started. Now I did pick this guy up at TFCon Orlando when I did go, and let me just say, seeing him behind that glass box, I was so ecstatic to see him because I never saw him in person. It already sealed the deal for me. It's just I didn't know if I wanted him or not. But day two, he was the last one there, and I'm like, screw it, I'm making the purchase, and roughly $80, which isn't too bad for an MDLX figure, but it's by ThreeZero, and as you guys know, I am the founder of ThreeZero. So I know this figure came out a while ago, but you know what, I saw him, and I really wanted him. Now, they did have Bumblebee, but Bumblebee really didn't interest me first. I know, I'm a Bumblebee lover, I know. I just didn't really like that one, but I just loved the Optimus Prime one. Now, did I make a good choice? Did I get a good figure? Is this figure really worth $80? And am I happy with this ThreeZero product? Let's find out. I'm gonna close a look at this figure. You can see that the head detail looks freaking awesome. I love the light blue that they did for the eyes there. It looks freaking awesome, and even the faceplate, nice silver going on there, and even the blue just all around the head, it looks freaking amazing. And even just going down on the figure, you got the nice yellow for the lights there, and this nice clear transparent black plastic. It is see-through. I know you guys can't see it, but trust me, I checked and it is see-through, which I love. And just going down on the figure, you can see the beautiful detail on this guy, going to the abdomen there, looking amazing, going down the yellow, and just the paint on this guy. He feels like a ThreeZero figure, which he is, and even though he's the smallest scale ThreeZero figure, I still think that this figure looks great nonetheless. You got the nice Autobot logo there on his shoulders. You got the nice silver for the smokestacks. Again, the paint on this guy is freaking awesome. And this is G1 inspired, but it's like a twist to it. It's like more like an anime type, cartoon type. This is not the accurate G1 version, but man, does it look freaking awesome. Going down the back, you got the nice silver. And just, again, I really love the color detail on this guy. It looks freaking amazing. Going down to the blue, to the silver, to the red. Everything here is shiny. He feels amazing. I love what they did with this. And yes, this is the smallest scale for ThreeZero, which is the MDLX. But man, even in this small scale, wow, I am really shocked. The amount of detail work that they did, I'm basically left speechless, because in person, in hand, I don't know what to say except that this is Optimus Prime. Now, I know the face sculpt, looks a little bit weird, but trust me, he looks so much better in person. I'm so happy I didn't pass up on this guy. I really am. Now, just like any ThreeZero product, he does have a lot of accessories, but let me just say that most of them are just his different hand gestures. But the two accessories that I'm excited for are the blaster and his really beautiful axe. So here's a look at all his accessories. Now take a look at his first, actually like 2, 4, 6, 8 accessories. Here we do have are the different type of hand gestures that you can do on this guy. And yeah, it actually looks really good. Do got, his little action hands here. Do got his, basically his relaxed hands there. Do got the nice detail, which I do quite like. Here we do have are like his pointer fingers that every Optimus Prime always comes with for some reason. I mean, I don't really use it, but it's cool nonetheless. Here we do have are basically his axe holding hands, which I do quite like. That's something that I always use. And then here we do have are his technically his weapon holding hands, which I do love as well. But yeah, basically every ThreeZero product always consists of actually like having these type of hands, and this is something that I've been really dreading. I don't like it. I really wish he just had basically any articulated fingers but you know what, it's alright, it doesn't really bother me. But his two accessories that I am going to talk about right now are the better, like, oh my gosh. Taking a look at the first one here, we do have is his really freaking cool looking blaster. Just take a look at that. I do love this a lot. It's freaking awesome. It really is. It has like this gray weathering effect to it, which I love. And even then, just looking on the other side, I do love it. Do got the nice, beautiful detail going on the blaster, and I really love this thing. I really do. It is a big boy. I'm not gonna lie. Camera focus. It's a big boy, which I do quite like a lot. But yeah, nonetheless, this blaster looks freaking cool. It looks sick, and I do quite like it. Now let's take a look at his really cool looking second accessory. Up next here we do have is his really cool looking Energon axe, which I do quite like. We got the nice detail going on the axe there. Again, it's pointy, so you gotta be careful. But man, this thing looks beautiful, doesn't it? Looks freaking beautiful, and I do quite like this a lot. In hand, I'm telling you, this is probably the best axe that I have in my collection. Far out, like wow. But yeah, now it's time to put it on so that way you guys can see how cool he actually looks with them. Now, all you're gonna do is bring Optimus here, and his hands are basically on ball joints, basically. So what you're gonna do, let me bring down the camera that way you guys can see. All you're gonna do is basically just pop off his hand like so. Just, it pops right off, and you can see that itty bitty looking ball joint there. Yeah, it's very tiny, so be careful not to break it, as I have already almost broken it. And yeah, in the back of his hands, you are going to see that there's going to be a hole right there, and all you're going to do is just plug it in. This is one thing that I really don't like, is that sometimes when you try to plug it in, the ball joint moves, so it doesn't really give you the option. Like, see, it popped right off. That's a con that I don't like about this guy. I really wish he had articulated fingers. I really do. But once you get it, there you have him holding his really cool looking arm blaster. Now for the axe, you're basically going to do the same thing. All you're simply going to do is take this piece off right there. And I already did the troublesome of, already installing the hand. And again, ball joint there, hole here, and you're simply just going to plug it in like so. And again, the thing moves, so if you see a cut here, is because I did. Let me just say that these two look freaking awesome together. The axe and the blaster look so well done. I love it. I love the way the freaking axe looks with that transparent orange, and I do love the way the blaster looks. I freaking love that. Again, this figure, all in all, I am really happy with this figure. I really am pleased. Yes, there are some cons with this guy, but nonetheless, I think this figure freaking looks like Optimus Prime. Not all the way Optimus Prime, but a good looking Optimus Prime nonetheless. First, some size comparisons. Remember when I said that this figure is at least a Voyager class size figure? Yeah, I wasn't lying. So for some comparisons, here he is next to the 102 rare, hard to find Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, so you can see how they both do look there. And yeah, let me just say that again, these two look amazing. They really do. But comparing ThreeZero to 102, I don't know what to say, except that when ThreeZero takes control of their figures, they take control of their figures. And what do I mean by that? The paint apps, the details. I love 102, I really do. But comparing it to this Optimus Prime, it just looks like a cheap knockoff. But then again, this is ThreeZero products. A lot of ThreeZero products are expensive. This is an $80 figure compared to roughly about $30, $40 around there. So half the price difference, but let me just say that these two look amazing nonetheless, and I would choose ThreeZero over 102. But again, ThreeZero product, Studio Series product, I just love the way that this Optimus Prime looks. I really do. Now for my next size comparison, I am going to show you the difference between an MDLX and a deluxe version of ThreeZero. So here's the MDLX version, and here is the deluxe version. Yeah, that way you guys can see just how small this figure is. And let me just say that, yeah, it is a big showing. But nonetheless, I think these two do look cool. I really do. This is the Last Night Optimus Prime, the deluxe version, and this is the MDLX normal Optimus Prime. So yeah, that way you can see the big difference between MDLX and deluxe version. And just for another size comparison, here is the MDLX Optimus Prime, and here's the deluxe, the Last Night Bumblebee. That way you can see how they both do look there. And yes, this is a deluxe, but this is smaller than Optimus Prime. That way you can see just how big the size difference is. And yeah, again, not too bad from the Bumblebee, but again, MDLX and the normal deluxe, and they both do look good. I really do like this a lot. ThreeZero has been killing it, showing us that no matter the size of the figure, they can do still such an amazing job on the paint apps, the details, and the articulation, and making honestly top tier figures. Now for the articulation, the head is on a his arm can move out about that far. He does have a bicep swivel, bend at the elbow, and his arm is on his hand, is on a ball joint, and that's roughly about it because every hand is not articulated. I don't know why they didn't do that. I think this is a nice feature here. His arm, or his shoulder, can go up and down. You can see that it can go up and down, which I do quite like. He also has a beautiful butterfly joint, which I think you guys know what it's for. It's for holding his beautiful axe. He does have a waist swivel. You can hear the... Oh, I love that. He does have an ab crunch, so that way when you go all the way down, you can see all the detail, and all the way up, that way you can get even more detail there on the top, which I do quite like. Now, here's where it gets a little bit kind of crazy. Now, to lift up his legs, so that way these will pop up if you don't lift up this little things. You're gonna lift this part up here, both of them, so that way I can show you. Then you can move his, well, that one down. Yeah, you have to be a little careful. Again, ball joint there. Don't worry, it's not broken. Ball joint there. Hole there, and you're just gonna plug this back in like so. I'll do it upside down, that way it's a little easier. But yeah, you gotta be very careful about that's how far it could go without popping off. So it could go about that far, and back it can go roughly about that far. Not too bad. Again, this whole basically this whole kind of area here is very loose. As you can see, it is very loose. That's something I don't like about this figure. I hate how loose it is, but nonetheless, he does have a beautiful thigh swivel. He doesn't have a knee swivel, which is fine. Bend at the knee, that way you can guys see some beautiful detail there. It can go back about that far, which is awesome, which I do quite like. And he does have a decently good pivot, but if you move this out the way, he does have a better pivot, but that's roughly about it. His toe can go up and down, which I like, and basically his whole foot is on a ball joint. So yeah, the articulation on this guy, I'm not gonna lie, is not that bad. It's actually really good. For the size quality it is, I think is actually pretty good. Now again, the only thing I don't like is that the little pieces like to move and they're floppy around, and that's something I don't like. And again, I just hate how easy that pops off. But nonetheless, the articulation on this guy is awesome. For the size it is, I think they did a great job with that. Now, one cool feature about this guy that I do quite like is that he does come with the matrix of leadership. Now, you're like, where is it? Well, it is in his chest. Out the packaging, it came basically out by itself, but I did the liberty of putting it in his chest because that's the way it's supposed to go. So, all you're gonna do is take this chest piece here, and you're simply gonna remove it, and hopefully the matrix doesn't come out. And there, please. And there you go. Now you have him with the matrix of leadership there. And it does look freaking awesome. Now you can take out the matrix of leadership. I'm gonna leave it in there, and now you can see all the beautiful, cool looking detail. I do love the blue, I do love the silver, I do love everything about this. I do quite like this a lot. And the way you basically put back on the chest piece is that whole piece right there is magnetic. All you're gonna do is just let it sit, and there you go. I do love that a lot. I actually really like that. Wow. But yeah, I don't know what to say except that this figure actually really surprised me. I did pick this up at freaking TFCon, and I am very happy with this figure. I really am. Is it worth the $80? Is the question that everybody wants to know that I did pick this up for. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. It's iffy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm being brutally honest with you guys. This is iffy. This is probably the first ever ThreeZero figure, which I actually have a lot of question marks about. Usually when I get ThreeZero products, I'm always happy. But this one, even though I'm happy, this raises a lot of question marks. I'm not gonna lie. But here's my overall review and my overall grade on this figure. Alrighty guys, there you go. There you had the MDLX ThreeZero Autobot Optimus Prime. Now, what do I think? I honestly really like this figure. Now, it's not to say that I love this figure as I thought I was going to. Again, I had higher expectations for this guy, but they did go a bit down, noticing all the little bits and eating pieces of cons that I did find, and that's something that I really didn't like. But again, I have to applaud ThreeZero because they just go to show no matter how big or how small they make figures, they make them to the best of their ability. The paint apps, the detail, the articulation is actually really good, and that's what surprised me about this guy. I do like this figure a lot. So for that, I do have to give this figure a solid 8 out of 10. Now, I know, an 8 out of 10, but you really like this figure. I do. It's just there are some bits and pieces that I really wish that they changed about this guy. But let's talk about it. First thing that I didn't like about this guy is the changing of the hands. That's something that I've been really dreading about ThreeZero, is that we have, like, they have individual hands, because sometimes the ball joints or just the tightness of the holes in the hands really don't want to stick on, and it makes it really frustrating. No lie, it took me roughly about a minute or a minute and a half to put on the one hand. I had so much frustration that I haven't felt in a long time, and that's something I didn't like about this guy. The second one will have to be how this guy feels. He doesn't feel right. He feels basically like loose, as in the waist, it's really loose. Sometimes this figure just likes to move on its own, and that's something that I don't enjoy about this figure. I really do wish that they did find a better way to do these couple things. Other than that, that's roughly about it. I do like this figure. I just wish that he felt more like a ThreeZero product. Really wish this figure had really articulated figure. That would have made this guy so much better. I don't know, this guy just feels like not cheap because he's $8. He just feels like a cheap version of ThreeZero. I don't know, maybe this isn't like my favorite of all time, but again, it doesn't change the fact that I like this figure. I really do. Am I happy with my purchase? Yes, I am. The details on this guy is immaculate. Comparing him next to the other ThreeZeros is amazing, which I love. I just wish that they fixed those couple things, and I would have gave this guy a 10 out of 10. Easy. But alrighty guys, I think that's gonna do for me. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to turn on post notifications so that way you guys don't miss any uploads that I do. I am happy with this figure. Am I satisfied with this figure? I'm still thinking about it. I really am. Just posing him by himself looks fantastic. I just wish that this figure had a lot more going for it. But again, ThreeZero just showed us that no matter how big or how small the figure is, they can still make it look amazing. Other than that, it's been Primus the Creator. Remember to stay calm and keep moving on, so it makes you guys all in the next one till all or one. Bye!